Good evening. My name is Sergeant Mike Ernster. Last name is spelled E-R-N-S-T-E-R. I'm the Public Information Officer here at the St. Paul Police Department. Here to talk to you today about a shooting that occurred earlier today involving our officers. This incident is being investigated by the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension, but I can provide you with a statement regarding our officers' actions leading up to this incident. Just after 1 p.m., our officers were called to the 1100 block of 7th Street, West 7th Street, after an anonymous caller reported that suspect of a St. Paul murder, Michael Stowers, was at a laundromat on a bicycle nearby. Officers arrived in the area but did not approach directly. Instead, a couple officers tried to determine if he was inside the business or not. They did not see a male inside the business, so they did not approach. Instead, they waited and monitored the business. While monitoring the business, a male approached the location on a bicycle. At the same time, the anonymous caller called again, stated that the man in front of the laundromat on the bicycle was Stowers. Officers waited for the man to leave the business before approaching him. At approximately 1:45 p.m., the man left the business on the bicycle and proceeded down Bay Street towards Watson. Officers in uniform and marked squad cars converged on his location. And they were doing this with the intent of stopping him into trying to determine if he was Michael Stowers or not. When they approached the man, he was armed with a handgun. Officers fired their service weapons and striking him. Officers provided life-saving measures and called for St. Paul medics to respond to the scene. The man was transported to Regions Hospital, where he died of his injuries a short time later. Due to the nature of this incident, the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension has been requested to handle the investigation. All officers involved in this incident were wearing body cameras that were activated. This video, along with other evidence, will be part of the BCA investigation. I can tell you that the identity of the man will be released by the BCA at a later time. The officers involved in this incident will be placed on administrative leave, which is standard procedure. No further information will be available from us regarding this incident due to the fact that it is a BCA investigation. Any further questions regarding it will have to go to the BCA. Keeping that in mind, I will take a couple questions if it has to deal with clarifying some of the things I said. If you have questions about that, I just won't be able to go into the investigation.
So do we know if the man is Stowers, the man who was shot?
Part of my statement was the fact that the BCA would release his name at a later time, and so that'll have to wait and have to come from the BCA.
Mike, can you say it's the guy points? Sorry.
Do you believe it to be Stowers?
Officers were there with the intent of trying to determine that. At this point, I think I'd be getting ahead of myself, getting ahead of the BCA by saying anything, so we will let the BCA release that information. Rich?
Did this guy point the gun at the officers?
I think that'll be part of the investigation from the BCA also, so hopefully that information will have to come from them.
How many officers were on leave?
I believe upwards of 6.
How many
But that would include any officers that were involved. They might be a witness officers, or they might be officers that discharged their service weapon.
How many officers discharged weapons?
That'll be something the BCA will release at a later time.
How many shots were fired?
That'll be something the BCA will release at a later time. So, thank you very much.